Hi again. You have completed first two pages of the Hindu in the last video. Moving on. This piece of news belongs to environment and biodiversity. Rhino poaching is quite prevalent in Assam and related things are seen very often in this newspaper. You won't get much exam oriented material in this report. You will have to dig internet and search relevant information. Your plan of action for prelims can be to form these dummy questions. Where are the rhinos present in India? I mean the names of national parks and locations. Are there any laws which protect animals from poaching? Is any government scheme running to protect the animals? What is the difference between national park, sanctuary, etc.? Even more questions will come to your mind when you are searching for these answers. You can also check News Aid on brainlantern.com for all extra explained stuff besides newspapers. Alright, coming to the next news report. This seems to be a regional news from Kolkata and nothing of national importance. But recently there was a bill passed regarding mentally ill patients. If you have time, you can write a summary for that bill with just the relevant points and keep it for future reference. This way, wherever this genre of news appears, you will have a background work already done. A little initial hard work will give you a very strong foundation and save much of your time at the later stages. This news, by the way, can be classified into polity due to the bill. Another news in environment and biodiversity category. This and Indian culture have become hot favorite topics of examiners in recent years. It will be in your favor to start with a strong foundation for both these subjects. Lots of news regarding environment and biodiversity will keep appearing in this newspaper. If you have worked hard once and searched the internet to your heart's content, you might feel very comfortable rest of the times. In this particular news, find out: where are black bugs most prevalent? What are endangered species? What does critically endangered species mean? What are vulnerable species? What is the difference between them all? What is Red Book? Are there any international bodies to protect endangered animals? Are there any treaties or national laws? You should go little deeper on all these topics. Also find out about the headquarters, important points of treaties, and be clear about the laws. Sometimes we tend to read superficially and then scratch our heads in the exam hall. Trust me guys, the paper will be from basics and things related to the newspaper. Most important thing is to be very clear about all things in your mind. You should know which point falls under which heading, as UPSC will try to confuse you completely. After you have prepared 1 month notes, you will understand what I am telling. Forget the research stuff, just master your basics. One last news report of relevance on this page is from Polity, shown here. Don't worry, after you have read the basic books like NCERTs, you will know about all schedules, and when a report like this appears in front of you, you will just have to revise your 6th schedule. There are many relevant tables in your book Lakshmikant which I have discussed on my website. I have already discussed first 2 pages of the newspaper with you. Following 3 pages are the same. Follow the procedure in the same way for each news report and keep on increasing your knowledge. Coming on to the editorials, they are the most important bits of information for the mains exam. They help you form your opinion and give you insight into things that are happening. Here, I will only discuss as to what extent they are important for prelims. Ideally, your mains and prelims preparation go hand in hand. So while you are making notes for mains, you will find there are certain articles so filled with high yielding points that they are inevitable. One piece of advice is always use the internet to confirm what is written in an article and only then make your notes. This article here, frankly speaking, needs economics and polity to make it palatable. So my first request to you is to finish your books as soon as possible to enjoy reading newspaper. Anyways, I will talk more about editorials in the video of newspaper for mains. Now, let me discuss about the relevance of international page. Broadly speaking, you should know about the events happening around way more than what newspaper tells you. Newspaper basically acts as a guide and tells you what topic you should prepare. For example, all year in 2013-14, Egypt was in news, with Mohammed Morsi and Arab Spring making frequent headlines. As a result, the question paper 2014 contained a question on Arab Spring as, and I quote from set A, question number 34, recently a series of uprisings of people referred to as Arab Spring originally started from, and the options were Egypt, Lebanon, Syria and Tunisia, with answer being Tunisia. You cannot expect this answer to be present in daily reports of newspapers. Nevertheless, the topic was important and little bit googling would have done the trick for you. It takes one complete year to gather such marks, and slowly you correct almost 20 to 30 extra questions and score better than others. Check my website for detailed question paper analysis where I have discussed each question separately in relation to why it was asked in exam. Once you know the criteria, you can then predict which questions will come for the future exams. Coming over to the business page. The best tip to offer here would be mind your own business. And your business, my friend, is just to study the basics of economics. This news shown here is not important and relevant from prelims point of view. Here, one thing which we have to understand is what is priority sector lending, which banks take part in it and what is their target. A question might appear in the final exam depending on the following factors. First, how important is the topic, which depends upon who all are concerned with it and how many people are getting affected by it. Larger the number of people affected, larger is its importance. That is, the number is directly proportional to importance. Second, what is the frequency of appearing on the newspaper? Article appearing for more than 2 to 3 times in different ways gains importance. For example, this news about priority sector lending involves RBI and huge players, so it stands important. The target population is poor Indian, which makes it even more important. Now, if priority sector lending comes in news after another month due to some government scheme targeting this or due to any other reason, then I can say with some confidence that there is a chance for this to be there on the question paper. Just keep in mind, information about companies and stocks is totally irrelevant and should be ignored. The page after business keeps on changing and gains immense relevance on Thursdays, when it is flooded with science and technology section. For example, during 2013-14, there were many articles about shale gas and correspondingly a question appeared in the 2014 question paper, which is, and I quote, set A, question number 38, with reference to two non-conventional energy sources called coal bed methane and shale gas, consider the following statements. Both of the statements were given and the question was asked was which of the statements given above are correct. Not only this, there was a particular article about gum guar and I saw it twice or thrice in different forms. Surprisingly, a question even on that appeared as per my expectations, and I quote, set A, question number 40, in India cluster bean, guar, is traditionally used as a vegetable or animal feed, but recently the cultivation of this has assumed significance. Which one of the following statements is correct in this context? And the answer was directly there in that article. So now you see how important is your newspaper to you. Please also check the detailed question paper analysis where you will appreciate how direct and indirect questions are set before starting your preparations. The last section is sports. Boys should not get overindulged in these pages and learn only the points where some sports person is achieving something phenomenal or gaining honors for the country. Please don't focus only on cricket or football. You should have a wide base of knowledge and you should be aware which athlete has achieved some feat in international sports meet and for which game. But as I said earlier, filter only the relevant stuff. This brings us to the end of the series of videos covering the information on how to read newspaper for prelims exam. Believe me, if you have read the newspapers as described, final exam will be a cakewalk for you. As examiners are shifting their questions on more and more current-based topics, reading the newspapers has become inevitable. We have tried at brainlantern.com to complete the daily news summary for you. NewsAid, which basically contains internet searched explanations filtered to perfections to save your precious time. To know more about the relevance of these things, please visit the site and study smart. This completes the second part of the video on effective newspaper reading for entrance exams. Thank you for patient listening, happy reading, and stay inspired. Thank you.